Welcome to Effective Evolution. And we're back on Mars, and this would be Solstice 3662. And we'll go over the area as usual, and you'll notice some very interesting things. For example, there is an object that looks like a figure. That is a live organism, a live Martian or whatnot. And also some very interesting structures on the slope in the background and also in the foreground, and we'll come up with some ideas based on our probing techniques, and let's get right to it. Effective evolution, and today we're on Mars, and this would be pia26693. It's also called the boxwork region of Mars for some reason, and that would have something to do with these designs here. And according to the caption, when you first go through this panorama, it says that these are areas of various deposits that have eventually filtered through the, I'll call it a level, but it's basically the soil that's being more or less dropped to the lower parts of the surface. It could be calcified deposits or whatnot, and areas that used to have water on them, supposedly, or whatnot. And we're going to focus in on some other beauties, and this would be areas such as here, and just take in the scenery here, and right away you could probably notice these patterns and symmetry, linear designs, and they're just about all over the place as well. Up here too, very beautiful designs, and you can only imagine what they could connote. And just look at these designs up here as well. Here. And some other areas to note would be here, which appear to be pyramid-like structures or whatnot. Here too. And these designs look very interesting. Just look at the calligraphy or whatnot, if you want to call it that, and various patterns and structures and whatnot, and up here as well. Just look at these designs here. And not to mention here, just about all over the place. And we'll probe these areas as usual and try to come up with some more detail or whatnot. And you can notice how the transformation tools make things pop right to you right away. You can only imagine what these are. Could these be pipes of some sort to transport some type of liquid or other types of minerals or whatnot? And we'll probe that a bit more if we may. Quite a majestic view that we have here. Just look at that symmetry. Quite a delight to observe and usurp or whatnot. and some areas that we've highlighted here. You can notice some detail inside of these highlighted areas and the linear patterns. Here as well, and not to mention this entire landform. We'll call that Vista 1. And here as well, there's lots of detail there to go over. Around here as well. And this would be some areas in the foreground. And just have a gander at these areas here. Quite amazing designs that imply being planned. And now we'll focus in on some more intimate areas, if we may. Please enjoy. Panorama of Mars, pia26693, or the boxwork region. We're going to focus in on some particular areas, and today it will be firstly this area here, and this will be what we'll call Vista 1. And just notice the stratigraphy already. Very interesting patterns and designs. And this is the gem here. And your keen eyes will definitely notice some structures immediately. And we're going to try to see what we can get in terms of detail and just manipulating the transformation tools. With this editor, you can notice very interesting patterns, structures, symmetry. In the background here as well, there seems to be patterns of design on the landform here. Just notice this pattern here. There's a huge curve. There's some type of pipe here and other designs. This structure appears to be protruding from the side here. And just notice the shapes and designs on here. Can only imagine how these were created. Symmetry here is quite remarkable as well. And in the background here, just notice this linear pattern here. Is this some type of edifice with a protective wall around it and some linear patterns of geometry here as well? Even in the background here, you can discern some shapes, patterns of design, the side of this slope here as well. Next, with this panorama of Mars pia26693, the boxwork region, we're focusing in on some things. And now it's to go over this area here. Another vista, more or less. And after you add the exposure tool to it, you get this, just to manipulate the contrast and brightness somewhat. And furthermore, with regards to more probing with the transformation gadgets, you can see how things start to pop. You notice designs, linear patterns, angles, depth, parallel structures and openings. Is this a settlement on the side of this slope here? And just notice the shadows that would indicate walled designs. Absolutely amazing. And in the foreground, so to speak, relatively speaking, we can only imagine what is on the surface here in light of what may have been confiscated or hidden or whatnot with the crafty people, NASA and company. But what's here is here, and how were these designed? Was it just made naturally with, quote, natural elements, Mother Nature more or less? Or was this planned, intelligent designs of another type of civilization? Please get familiar with this area. It's a very beautiful area as well, you must admit. Symmetry, the patterns, geometrical connotations and whatnot. Quite amazing. And is this some type of structure, or I dare say craft of some sort? It's more or less, quote, parked here. You can notice other structures with depth here as well. Tool of this Vista pia26693, the boxwork region of Mars. Voila, this is what we get. And you can notice the symmetry in the patterns and the designs all over the place. Hopefully you can notice other designs as well. And if we add on to that somewhat, it might have an even more amazing flavor to things in terms of being able to make out what is on this topography. This boxwork area of Mars, pia26693. Did we just bring out a dome-like area? Look at the perfect circular form here. Some type of glass or plastic-like, I don't want to say dome-like structure, but that's what it looks like with the sun having a sheen off the top here. Shining right off the top with the rays of sunshine coming in from this direction, more or less. More spherical forms can be noted in this area that we speculated upon previously. And some other notable areas with this Vista 2 on Mars would be this area here. And this added on the shadow tool and fill light clarity tool as well. Tube-like structures here. This dome-like structure. Rectangular design, perfectly formed linear patterns. Is this an area of settlement or mining? Or, quote, relative urban Martian activity? Or was there once, or will be back again, or is there now, hidden, or maybe even under the surface? And now we're looking at the overall view of this panorama of Mars, pia26693, the boxwork region of Mars. And we're going over the whole area with the infrared tool. And you can notice the areas we highlighted as well. And let's go in for further gander. And we've noticed this object here. Just look at that. It seems to be a perfect cylinder. Just in the middle of this panorama. And the areas here that seem to have material that's been percolated through the surface and to the under part of the surface or whatnot. And makes you wonder why they call this the boxwork region for some reason. Does it look like a box of some sort? Or those areas look like boxes, whatnot. And with the infrared tool here, we were just here at Vista 2, but notice some interesting patterns here. Just amazing designs. And this is the area with stratigraphy. Our highlight there that we just extrapolated a bit upon. And there's what appears to be a dome-like structure on top here as well. Perfect globular spherical shape. And the areas we mentioned before that seem to have some detail. A whirlwind of designs, more or less. And it's right on this, quote, mountain, quote, face, or ridges of mountains. Part of the ridge line, or don't want pareidolia to get to us, but and here seems to be another dome as well. But this could be some type of face. Consider here could be some type of eye here as well. Nose, mouth cavity. Some huge life form that's poking its head out from this, quote, opening or whatnot. Maybe it's a bit far-fetched, but that's what exploration is all about. And still with the infrared mode, and we've added on some other tools with the contrast brightness as well, added on to the infrared mode. We just explored this area here, Vista 2, Vista 1. Just remarkable what you could come up with your probing expectations or whatnot. Progressing to some other parts of this panorama of Mars, pia26693, the boxwork region. And right now we're going to explore this area here. And of course there are some of us who have already made a note of some prominent areas of interest here. Designs and peculiar patterns all over the place. and just take in the perspective and make a note of these bewildering designs. And in particular, these areas here. And it seems to be a bit bizarre to have structures on a sloped surface with this incline of the topography or whatnot, but gives us a chance to add more exploration gadgets to the scenery. And just make a note of the designs here. Hopefully we can cut through the shadows a bit. And seems to be geometrical circular patterns in here. Designs on the top. A cylinder of some sort. Looks like some type of telescope pointing in the reverse direction. And over here, seems to be all types of designs if you look carefully. And adding some other manipulation with the shadow tool, etc. Hopefully we can make things more extravagant or whatnot in terms of finding detail. And there seems to be all kinds of designs here. What exactly is going on here? There's a lot of detail here that's just awaiting an explanation or whatnot. Up here as well. And it will take some time, of course, to get familiar with this panorama, with this other vista. But there are some structures here to make a note of. This is the boxwork region, of course, of Mars, pia26693. And adding the dodge tool, we get this panorama. And if we visit some of the areas we were just on, such as up here, we get to play around a bit with some fabulous areas. And zooming in a bit, just have a gander at the area we were just at. We noted that there were some interesting designs on here. And with this area up here as well, just have a gander at what appears to be yet another dome structure, and grooves as well that have geometrical linear patterns just about all over. And here as well, there's some very interesting designs up here. And if we add a bit of brightness manipulation, you can see that there are linear patterns here and remarkable designs on this slope here. Is that a natural occurrence? And some other structures seem to pop up here as well. And if we were to get familiar with some areas, you'll notice this object here. And zooming in a bit on it, this is the object here. And the thing that really grabbed me was the intricate designs on this. It seems to be some type of robotic part or whatnot. And it's kind of just on the surface here, and it takes a while to notice it, but just make a note of the designs on this. There just appears to be some very planned designs on this object. And when you look at it carefully, you can see that the sun is shining off this part. Could this be some type of robotic life form? I.e., this is the head part, and with its intricacies of design inside, and it's just nearby the rover. I was taking a picture of this area, and if we tap around with the contrast tool, you can see there's some more shadows here, and in this object here as well. It seems to have an opening to the surface. It does take a while to understand what we're having a gander at, of course.
And eventually we get to this. This is the product of our transformation gadgets. Probe technique, and we get all of this type of shot at this object here.
Wrapping up with the boxwork region of Mars, which is Mars 26693. You definitely have some ideas regarding what we've just gone over and the results of the probing or whatnot, utilizing all of the different tools or whatnot, the contrast and brightness tools, and the dodge and shadow tools, and the whole smorgasbord of accessories to our hobby. And of course, these creations were made with some very thoughtful planning involved. And it leads you to the speculation that, of course, there are some life forms that are behind the scenes of these creations. And until next time, please continue with your space exploration and please enjoy your hobby.